What's up, Grandmaster Igor Smirnov is here, and today I'd like to share with you one of the most brilliant, most beautiful chess puzzles I've ever seen in my entire life. It is white to play and it is made in 4. As you can see, white's single pawn is fighting against the entire black's army. And therefore, it's really something fairly interesting. And of course, the solution is fascinating. Now, just to make it clear, the first rank is here, meaning the white's pawn is going up, going forward, and so the pawn can potentially go in the future to b8 and be promoted into a queen or something else, and which also means that black's pawns are going down, going this way, right? So they're going this way. This is just to make sure that you know where the pawns are moving, because the initial situation on the chessboard, of course, is some very, very unusual. All right, so this is a white to move, okay, and it is made in 4. And if you want to give it a try, you may pause the video and think if you can find the solution yourself. Of course, it's not that easy, but it is doable. Okay, so it's pretty clear that white has to move his king somewhere, because that's the only thing white can theoretically do, and therefore white should choose between king going to c7, c8, or a8. And one of these moves win, the others will probably lose. All right, let's start with the losing one. So king to a8 definitely does not work, because black can go bishop e4, pinning the pawn, and it is game over for white. Therefore, this definitely does not help. The king should go some other place to give way to the pawn. If king goes to c8, it's slightly better, but nevertheless, it does not work, because black can do almost anything really. Bishop e4, and then after white promotes the queen, the problem is white has no threats at this position, and therefore black can do whatever they want, and maybe pawn to c2, and then rook to c3 check, and he'll gradually put his pieces into play and will win the game. Therefore, this does not work for white as well. And just by excluding the two moves that don't work, you can come to the solution, which is king to c7, the move which wins the game. But of course, that's not the end, because the cool things are only starting right here. Okay, so what is the white's idea? In case black does something like bishop e4, which we analyzed before, in this case it does not help, because after white promotes the queen, now they have a clear checkmating threat, queen takes b6, and there is nothing black can do against it. Therefore, black should be aware of this, and they should try to stop white from delivering the checkmate so easy. And therefore, after white goes his king to c7 instead of bishop e4, black should do something else, and the better option is pawn to c4, which prepares rook to c3 check, which will kick the white's king away, and white won't be able to deliver checkmate on b6 with their queen anymore. What should white do now? And at this point it looks like it's all over, and yet white still has the solution. But the solution is king goes back to b8, which is crazy, because instead of promoting the queen, white is just moving his king backward, and it actually wins the game. So what's the idea? Regardless of what black does next, let's say it is rook to c3 or whatever, like black can move his knights or anything else, let's say rook to c3, white goes with his king to a8. And can you see the white's next move here? Let me here also mention that in case black tries to delay or somehow distract white from his intention by sacrificing the rook to c8, white can capture the rook and promote it into a queen, and with all the fairness with his checkmate, but I love even more if you would promote this into a bishop and deliver a checkmate with your bishop, just because it looks so satisfying to see that a single bishop can defeat the entire black's army. All right, let's take a move back. Instead of rook to c8, of course, black can play something else, and in this case, I'd like to ask you, how would you finish the game as white? And once again, like this whole maneuver of the white's king going here back and forth to a8 instead of promoting the king, as well as the following finish of the game, is really, really beautiful. So I hope that you enjoyed it. This is something that makes us fall in love with chess and just with the beauty of the game. While you are thinking about the solution, you can also write it down in the comments below if you can find it. Let me also announce that we have prepared something that you guys asked me for a long time already. We have just launched the course about pawn structures, because this is like something that you guys always have been asking me, and I probably should have done this a long time ago, but now we did. And now you can study the course, which covers the 11 most common pawn structures in chess, as well as the common plans and ideas and common tactics in all these most common pawn structures. This is one of the most practical and fruitful ways to study chess in general and to improve at chess. And right now, for the next few days, you can get this course by clicking the link on the screen or down below in the video. I'm sure you will enjoy it. This was Grandmaster Igor Smirnov. I wish you all the best, and I'll talk to you soon.